Ladies and gentlemen, the talk of the town proudly present the star of the evening, Rolf Harris!
I'm Jake the peg, diddly-diddly-diddlum, with his extra leg, diddly-diddly-diddlum. Wherever I go through rain and snow, the people always let me know. There's Jake the peg, diddly-diddly-diddlum, with his extra leg, diddly-diddly-diddlum. The day that I was born, oh boy, my father nearly died. Well, he couldn't get my nappies on no matter how he tried. 'Cause I was born with this extra leg, and since that day begun, I had to learn to stand on my own 3 feet. Believe me, that's not fun. I'm Jake the peg, diddly-diddly-diddlum, with his extra leg, diddly-diddly-diddlum. Wherever I go through rain and snow, the people always let me know. There's Jake the peg, diddly-diddly-diddlum, with his extra leg, diddly-diddly-diddlum. I had a dreadful childhood, really. Well, I suppose I shouldn't moan. Each time they had a 3-legged race, I won it on my own. And also I got popular when came the time for cricket. They used to roll my trousers up and use me for the wickets. I'm Jake the peg, diddly-diddly-diddlum, with his extra leg, diddly-diddly-diddlum. Do a Harry Worth here for you. There's Jake the peg, diddly-diddly-diddlum, with his extra leg, diddly-diddly-diddlum. I was a dreadful scholar. I found all the lessons hard. Well, the only thing I knew for sure was 3 feet make a yard. To count to 10 I used my fingers, and if I needed more, by getting my shoes and socks off, I could count to 24. I'm... hang on a sec, but hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Count to 25. I'm Jake the peg, diddly-diddly-diddlum, with his extra leg, diddly-diddly-diddlum. Whatever I did, they said was false. They said quick march, I did the quick waltz. And then they shouted at me, put your best foot forward. But which foot? I said, it's very fine for you. You only got a choice of 2. But me, I'm Jake the peg, diddly-diddly-diddlum, with his extra leg, diddly-diddly-diddlum.
Take them off.
No.
Get them off.
No. I am only 13.
This is no time to be superstitious.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, inch, half, 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 shh, inch, half, inch, half, shh, inch, half, inch, half,
All together. You're as mad as I am.
Hey, what do you say? I just flew back from the USA, and I said, hey, what do you say?
Do you mean, what would I say, given the normal run of circumstantial eventualities, or what do I say, on this specific occasion from the stage of the Talk of the Town, London. Well, bloody hell. No, hang on a minute. What it was, I should, yeah, wow. I've done it now. Open me mouth, and straight away you know I'm uncouth. Or is it uncouth? Anyway, tell you the truth. The reason I'm here, bashing your ear, I just wanted to say, hooray! It's great to be back. Thank you very much. You know, most people, when they come out on stage, they do an American-type opening song, you know, the sort of, everything's coming up roses, or the sort of good evening, folks, and goodbye, this sort of thing. And I thought it'd be nice to start the act off with this sort of song. And I based this on a phrase that they seem to use more than any other phrase in the States. Actually, whenever people saw me over there, they said, "G'day, Rolf, baby, what do you say? What do you say, Rolf, baby, what do you say?" And they don't give a damn what you say, really. You know, honestly, they're not interested. You start to tell them, you say, "Oh, I feel pretty rough, I'll probably die," and they say, "Great, baby, great." They got a comparable phrase in Australia. They say, "G'day, how would you be? How would you be?" Anybody here from Aussie tonight? Any Australians? Yeah? This young fella in Sydney parks the car, takes out of the glove box a bottle of rum, 2 plastic cups. Righto, said, over you go, into the back seat. Somebody knows up there, hear that laugh? Look at that. And the girl said, "No, look, I don't want to get into the back seat." Righto, said, over you go. She said, "No, look, I've told you I do not wish to get into the back seat." Right, I said, she said, "No, look, I've told you I don't." He said, "Why don't you want to get into the back seat?" And she said, "I want to be with you." Must tell you this. This old fella's drinking in a bar in Sydney, King's Cross. And it's a Saturday morning, so he's left his teeth home. And he looks like a brown paper bag that's received a vicious judo chop, you know. Oh! Drinking away. Big American tourist comes in, white Stetson hat with a curly brim. He buys the old Aussie fella a drink and they get talking and the topic of land comes up. And the old Aussie bloke said, "Oh, yes, I've got a bit of land myself, yes. Oh, yes, I've got a bit of land myself, yes. Oh, yes." The American, "How much land do you have?" "Oh," he said, "I got about 1.25 acres, yes. Oh, yeah, 1.25 acres. Oh, yes, about 1.25 acres, yes. And the American's flabbergasted. He said, 1.25 acres in a country the size of the..." Gee, he said, "I don't wish to appear to brag, but where I come from, back in the States, I can get on my horse at 6 o'clock in the morning, ride it hard all day, and at 6 o'clock at night, I am still on my own property." And the old Aussie bloke said, "Yes, I had an old horse like that myself once. Anybody here from Ireland tonight? Yes? Struck the jackpot again, look at that. These 3 fellas come out of this pub, they've had a few. Well, they're blind, paralytic, maggoty, mouldy drunk. And suddenly one lad says, "Psst, lads, I think we're in a cemetery. There's a headstone here." By God, now that was an old fella when he died, 121. And his friend said, "What's his name?" "Miles from Dublin." I want to sing you a song written by Jake Thackeray. not exactly written specifically for me, but it could have been. It fits so perfectly. Because my wife, when we first met, my wife was a shy, retiring English rose. I was a noisy, brash, repulsive Australian. Of course, I've changed since I've done. But her mother's sweet English lady. Her father is an ex-British Army major. You know, the type pinstripe moustache. Somebody says to him,
Say, I hear by your accent, are you English?
British, old boy. You know the type, right? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that we're agreed that we're in love, we'll have to face the la-di-da, the eyewash, all of that fancy pantomime. I love you very much, so I'll try, love. I'll bill and coo with your gruesome Auntie Susan. I'll stay calm, I'll play it cool. I won't let your two tetchy uncles get my back up across my heart. And I won't go berserk when they say I look peculiar. I'll be nice to your mummy, I'll come all over la-di-da. Although she always gets up me nose, I love you very much. And so I'll smile and I'll acquiesce when she suggests that I caress her scabby cat. Ugh. I'll sit still while she knits and she twitters across my heart. And I won't lay a finger on the crabby old bat face. I'll be polite to your daddy, frightfully la-di-da. Although he always bores me to my boots, you know, love you very much. And so I won't boo and hiss when he starts to reminisce. I won't flare up, I won't drop off. Oh. The runs he used to score and how he won the war cross my heart. But I'll have to grit me teeth when he goes on about his rupture. I'll behave at the wedding breakfast, I'll be la-di-da, with all those hearty toasts and risque jokes. Love you very much. And so I'll force a laugh for those blasted photographs. Have no fear, I won't turn tail, I won't run amok when the females chuck confetti in my ear. And cross my heart, love, I'll steer clear of the pale ale when we're off on our own. No more la-di-bloody-da. I promise we just won't have the time. We just won't have the time for all that pantomime. I love you much too much. Anybody here celebrating a wedding anniversary tonight? Just the one fellow on his own up there, is it? It's difficult to see with these lights. Two fellas together, that's worse. No, we've got some genuine anniversaries, have we, tonight? Yeah? That's good. I tell you what's nice, it's nice to get as many people involved as is possible in this sort of thing. Let me put it this way. Is there anybody here tonight planning anything which could be celebratable later on as an anniversary of some sort? You see, straight away that involves a lot more people, right? So for those involved, a little song. We're the genuine anniversaries. You don't want a serious sort of song for this, do you? The sort of,
know how we danced on the night we were wed. We danced and we danced.
The room had no bed. You don't want the serious sort of thing, do you? No, I thought sort of a comedy approach, I thought, on this one. Here we go. We got married last Friday. My sweet wife stood beside me. And much later on, when the guests had all gone, we stood side by side. Now we were so glad to be wed. Then she got ready for bed. Then and her false teeth and hair she placed on the chair.
side by side. One cork leg to follow, one glass eye so small, and then she unscrewed her left arm and placed it on the chair by the wall. I stood there broken-hearted. Well, most of my wife had departed, so I slept on the chair. There was more of her there, side by side. Oh yeah!
Thank you. I got a friend married 21 years. Every year, on the anniversary of the marriage, he goes back to the church where they were wed, sort of a pilgrimage, and punches the vicar right on the nose. Anyone here from New York tonight? Yes, yes. This happened in Central Park, New York, down the rough end. And this old rabbi is crossing the park about dusk. Not a rabbi, an old cantor. He's crossing the park, and these four hoodlums jump out from behind bushes, and they land on the fella. Down he goes, face down in the mud. One guy holds him down, the other guys rob him, take all his valuables, cufflinks, wristwatch, wallet, everything of value, and they scatter. And he comes up, he's shaking with suppressed rage, his mud in his whiskers and bits of grass eat up the nostril. You know, you can imagine the indignity of somebody holding your head down the mud, right? He reaches into the inside pocket, brings out a tuning fork. Help! Since I've been here at the Talk of the Town, I've had so many requests to sing this song. It's a song from the show Fiddler on the Roof. And for those of you who haven't seen the show, the basic background of the show, it's a very poverty-stricken Jewish community in Russia around about the turn of the century. The central character is a very religious but very, very poor milkman. And he's got this lovely thing he does all the way through the show. He pictures God as being in a section of heaven just like within talking range, just there. And he discusses everything with him. He asks advice from him, and things go wrong. He complains bitterly to him. There's one nice bit that illustrates this. At one stage, his wife is nagging, and she's an expert. And he's trying to get a word in edgeways, you know. He's like, yes, but no, of course not, my darling. But you see, yes, no, but I fully intended to. No, but if you let me, please, if I could just explain. Yes, no, but yes, you see. Finally, he turns around and goes. The song that fascinated me most in this one. Give us a rhythm, fellas. In this bit, he comes in. He's fed up to the back teeth. His poverty is sort of sitting on his shoulders like a physical weight. And he looks up to heaven and he says, "Oh Lord, you made many, many poor people. I know, of course, it is no shame to be poor, but it's no great honor either. So would it have been so terrible if I had had just a small fortune? If I were a rich man, all day long, boom. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. If I were a bitty rich, idle man, I'd build a big tall house with rooms by the dozen right in the middle of the town. Fine tin roof and real wooden floors below. There could be one long staircase just going up, and one even longer coming down, and one more leading nowhere just for show. I'd fill my yard with chicks and turkeys and geese and ducks for the town to see and hear, with each one squawking noisily as they can, and each loud
would burst like a trumpet on the ear.
As if to say, here lives a wealthy man.
If I were a rich man, all day long I'd biddy-biddy-bum.
As if I were a wealthy man.
I wouldn't have to work hard. If I were a biddy-biddy rich, idle man, I'd see my wife, my Golda, looking like a rich man's wife with a proper double chin, supervising meals to her heart's delight.
I'd see her
Putting on airs and strutting like a peacock. Hey, what a happy mood she's in. Just screaming at the servants day and night. If I were rich, I'd have the time that I lack to sit in the synagogue and pray, and maybe have a seat by the eastern wall. And I'd discuss the holy books with the wise men 7 hours every day. This would be the sweetest thing of all. If I were a rich man, all day long I'll biddy-biddy-bum.
as if I were a wealthy man.
I wouldn't have to work hard. Lord, who made the lion and the lamb, you decreed I should be what I am. Would it spoil some vast eternal plan if I were a wealthy man?
Thank you very much. Did you hear about the Jewish Santa Claus comes down the chimney, wakes the kid up and says, "Want to buy some toys?" I thought I'd set the scene for this next bit by painting for you a portrait, and I'm going to start with the nose. It's a good central feature. Anybody here from France tonight? Yes? Oh, I'd do my French bit then. I've rehearsed this for quite a while. La première chose, le nose. There's the nose. Now his eyes. He's not well. His eyes are semi-glazed. Hello, his nose is running straight away. He's lying out in the blazing sun, obviously overseas, and his brow is all creased up. Now his ear. Where would you suggest for the ear? About ear? The hair. Now the mouth. He's not well, the old fella. He's sort of going, oh. I had a terrible nightmare the other night. Dreamt I was giving General de Gaulle the kiss of life and I fell in. Actually, I've taken a bit too long with this. Let me finish it quickly for you. How's that for a self-portrait, folks? Vaccination mark. Which side do they do vaccinations on? The left arm. Old tattoo there. Now the body, he's not well, he's in a semi-recumbent position. We'll do the body now. That's the belt on his trousers, and that last bit was a thumbnail sketch, that little bit there. Tonight I'm making an attempt on the world's record for the fastest pair of legs ever to be painted on stage in the Greater London area. And as you can imagine, it is a very tense moment for me. I'm giving myself a Cape Kennedy countdown. Quiet, please. Good luck, Rolf. They cried in unison. Here we go. Coming up to the part. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hut! That's it! 7 seconds, a new world record! Oh, this is a background for an Australian song, so let me make this a really authentic Australian scene. Add a few flies. The song that goes with this has been my theme song now for 8 years. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's an old Australian stockman lying, dying. It is nice to get emotionally involved as early as possible in the performance. Now, this is a pretty sad bit, the old fella lying, dying. So when we get to it, if you could all go... You feel it yourself, right? Lovely, warm, sympathetic, emotional involvement. The old fella lying, dying. Don't let me down on this when we get to it. Okay? Here we go then. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 12. They're fantastic, these fellas. Never miss a beat. You see that? Look at that. There's an old Australian stockman lying, dying. And he gets himself up onto one elbow, turns to his mates who are gathered around in the talk of the town, and he says, "Watch me wallabies feed, mate. Watch me wallabies feed. Hey, they're a dangerous breed, mate. So watch me wallabies feed. All together now, tie me kangaroo down. Sport, tie me kangaroo." That's never happened before. Usually you've got to bludgeon people and pester them and shake them and thump them. Give yourselves a burst of applause for that. Fantastic. Hey. Notice all the ones who never opened their mouth clapping away like mad here. Look at that. Now, if you weren't sure, the chorus, a pretty simple chorus, goes, tie me kangaroo down, sport, tie me kangaroo down. That's the simple bit. Then the difficult part comes in, tie me kangaroo down, sport, tie me kangaroo down. Now, it's worth a try, right? Hello, he's wet his trousers, poor old devil. Look. What key are we in, Laurie? Z. Give us the S above middle Z, would you please? Thank you. Here is your commencing note. Right? Here we go then, from the chorus. Could you sit up straight, because you lounge about there? How can you expect me to be excited with... All right, no, relax, you're right, nothing to do with me. Here we go. 1, all together now, tie me kangaroo down, sport, tie me kangaroo down. This is now, when you like, tie me kangaroo down, sport, tie me kangaroo down. Take me koala back, Jack, take me koala back. He lives somewhere out on the track, Mac, so take me koala back. All together now, tie me kangaroo down, sport, tie me kangaroo. Give her a nudge, will you, tie me kangaroo down, sport, tie me kangaroo down. Mind me platypus duck, Bill, mind me platypus duck. Oh, don't let him go running amok, Bill, just mind me platypus duck. All together now, tie me kangaroo down, sport, tie me kangaroo down. Oh, tie me kangaroo down, sport, tie me kangaroo down. Now, by this time, the poor old fella's getting slightly delirious. Give us the delirious bit, Laurie. Sounds like a bunch of Adelaide crows sitting on a fence up there. Now with his second last gasp, he says, play your didgeridoo, Blue. Play your didgeridoo. Like... Keep playing till I shoot through, Blue. I misunderstood that in the States. Play your didgeridoo. All together now, tie me kangaroo down, sport. Tie me kangaroo down, oh yeah. Tie me kangaroo down, sport. Tie me kangaroo. And then, with his very last gasp, he just manages to get the words out. Tan me hide when I'm dead. Fred? Did you think I'd forgotten the fella's name? Well, he's not well, you see, the old fella. Seriously. Tan me hide when I'm dead. So we tanned his hide when he died, Clyde, and that's it hanging on the shed. All together now, tie me kangaroo down, spot. Tie me kangaroo down, last chance. Tie me kangaroo down, spot. Tie me kangaroo down. That's good, thank you. I've had tremendous luck with that song since I wrote that in 1960. It's been recorded by, I don't know how many people. Pat Boone recorded it, the Brothers Four recorded it, Les Welch recorded it, Anthony McFurtlesquirt and the Frantic 12 did a lovely LP version of it. Jimmy Wheeler made a single out of it. It's been translated into 19 different languages. There's a German version called Halt das Känguru fest, boys! There's a Dutch translation. Anyone here from Holland tonight? It's that Aussie group again, is it up there? Thanks for your help. Now, we got somebody from Amsterdam somewhere? Yeah? Because the Dutch version was recorded by a group called Het Cocktail Trio from Amsterdam Zuid. Actually, one of them lives at Guido Gezellenstraat 5, but it's of no interest to you, I shouldn't imagine. But it sounds a bit more stodgy than the English version. The Dutch one goes,
Op een kangaroo-eiland, waar je kangaroes vindt. Maar die kangaroemoeder zoekt een kangaroekind om het allemaal.
There's a Spanish version, actually it's a South American one recorded in the Spanish language. It's a nice one that goes, Amarrar mi canguro esta noche, muchacha. What a memory, look at that. We had a holiday last year in Spain, and we went to this bar which was owned by an ex-bullfighter. Walked into the place, I was staggered because he had all the heads of these bulls mounted on big wooden plaques on the wall. And you see them in real, I was going to say in real life, you see them in real death and they're fantastic size. And I said to the chap, did you kill all these bulls yourself, you personally? And he said, Senor? Oh, I said, have you killed all of these bulls? And he said, see, I have killed him in Malaga, I have killed him at Madrid. I said, what about the big one in the corner? Fantastic. He said, Senor, please, do not speak to me of this bull, for this bull has killed my brother. Oh, I said, sorry, was he a bullfighter? No, he was sitting here and the head fell on him. There's a French-Canadian translation of this. Anybody here from French Canada? It's the same group up the back there. I heard this when I was over at Expo last year in Montreal, means Montreal. And it was recorded by a young French-Canadian girl, and she sang, Tu ne penses que ça, chérie, tu ne penses qu'à ça. Tu ne penses que ça, chérie, tu ne penses qu'à ça. It's the least authentic of the translations. As far as I can make out, it's about a young fella and a girl in the back seat of a car. And she's saying to him, you never think about anything else, do you? And it's not kangaroos. There have been all sorts of parodies written on this one, of course. Most of them you can't use anywhere, really. Well, the Sydney parody starts, get your dungarees off, Joff. That's the first line, you know, so that's how...
Have we got many people here from the States, the Federated Malay States? No?
Actually, I think the nicest parody was written and recorded in Nashville, Tennessee, in the US of A. And unfortunately, this starts off with a Jew's harp sound effect. You know, they grip in the teeth and twang. I haven't got one. None of the characters in the group doubles on the harp. Am I right? No. So if you can imagine the sound, you know how it goes sort of... So anytime nothing's happening, if you could imagine that sound. Here we go then. There's an old Tennessee mountaineer lying dying way up in the Smoky Mountains. Now he raises up on the one elbow, calls his kinfolk about him, and he says, I've forgotten the bloody words, trying to get the accent right. Hang on a minute. Sorry about it. Oh, I'm glad we paused there, Bert. Let me just explain what happens at the end of this song, because it's fairly important. At the end of this one, I rush off, the orchestra goes into the bouncy theme song, you go into a fabulous burst of applause, and you force me back to do a well-earned encore. Don't rehearse it, we do it when we get to it off the cuff. Okay, here we go. And he says, time a hunting dog down, Jed. A time a hound dog down. Don't you let him go running in town, Jed. Time a hunting dog down. Actually, hold on a sec. The dying verse in this one's marvellous. Give us the fiddly diddly bit, Laurie. The old fella says, plant me high on a hill, Phil. Turn my face to the sky.
Yeah, we'll plant you high on a hill, Will, if and you'll just shut up and die. All together now. Time a hunting dog down, Jet. A time a hound dog down. Don't you let him go running in town, Jet. Time a hunting dog down. Once again, a Rolfie boy. Time a hunting dog down, Jet. A time a hound dog down. Oh, don't you let him go running in town, Jet. Time a hunting dog down.
Thank you for that unexpected burst of applause there. Unfortunately, we've got to do the whole thing again. This fella never bloody moved during that. Never moved! All right, no, relax. He's right. You're right. This proves something I've maintained for years. If you want to get anything really spontaneous, organise it. True or false? I noticed when I said I've forgotten the bloody words earlier on, there was a quick intake of breath from somebody over there. Went, ooh, I said. She's always doing it, is she? I'm sorry, I thought she was genuinely panic-stricken about it. It's funny, this silly little word. In the States, it's a straight descriptive adjective. The word bloody, they use it to describe a very rare steak. You know, the sort of steaks where you say, slap it on a plate, walk it past a warm candle and bring it in, you know, one of these. And you can order it in a restaurant. You say a bloody steak, and the waiter, without turning a hair, takes the order and says, certainly, sir, will you have it with the deluxe trimmings, the French fries and ketchup? You cross the border into Canada, straight away it's a swear word. You use it and somebody goes, oh. In England, here, as you know, if you use this word to somebody to whom you've not actually been introduced, with which the effect is staggering, the hair goes. In Australia, they use it as an adjective, an adverb, a pronoun, a past participle, a verb, a noun, any part of speech that happens to come to light. Oh, dear. True. Before I go any further, what about a hand for my pianist, a tremendous guy, Laurie Holloway? Keep it going, if you will, for the fellas who backed me up so marvellously here at the Talk of the Town. Bert Rhodes and the orchestra. Gentlemen. And from New Zealand, my guitarist, Gray Bartlett. Step inside my tent, said she, I'd like to read your palm. Leave some silver in the jar, this won't take very long. Leave the circus noise behind, close your eyes, relax your mind. I'll tell you if you should quit now or if you should go on. Then I said, well, what do you see? She said, deedly-dum, deedly-dee. Where'll I go and what'll I be? She said, deedly-dum, deedly-dee. She threw some sawdust in the air and her hands began to shake. She told me the town where I was born, she almost knew the date. She lit a candle with her eyes and then she made the table rise. She took my money from the jar, then she guessed my weight. Then I said, now what do you see? She said, deedly-dum, deedly-dee. You were so old, you were so wise. She said, deedly-dum, deedly-die. Give me a sign, come on, tell it to me. She said, deedly-dum, deedly-dee. Then she said most quietly, she said, deedly-dum, deedly-dee. When you were a child at school, they taught you quite a lot. You were told when you should speak and when you should not. You were taught to read and write, take your lessons home at night. A little knowledge serves you well, but the golden rule does not. Then I said, what do you mean? She said, deedly-dum, deedly-dee. What do you know and what do you see? She said, deedly-dum, deedly-dee. When I got back home that night, I lay awake in bed. Thought of that old gypsy and the words that she had said. Now I say with due respect, the more we know, the worse we get. Still, if you've no regrets, go have your fortune read. Then I said, now what do you see? She said, deedly-dum, deedly-dee. You were so old, you were so wise. She said, deedly-dum, deedly-die. Give me a sign, come on, tell it to me. She said, deedly-dum, deedly-dee. Then she said most quietly, she said, deedly-dum, deedly-dee. Anybody here wanna sing it with me? Sing deedly-dum, deedly-dee. You in the blue, give it a try. Deedly-dum, deedly-die. What about the folks from the USA? Sing deedly-dum, deedly-dee. Anybody here from the Emerald Isle? Sing deedly-dum, deedly-die. Anybody here from Italy? Sing funicular, funiculi. What about you up the back with your hand on a knee? Deedly-dum, deedly-dee. Deedly-dum, deedly-dee. Then I said, now what do you see? She said, deedly-dum, deedly-dee. You were so old, you were so wise. She said, deedly-dum, deedly-die. Give me a sign, come on, tell it to me. She said, deedly-dum, deedly-dee. Then she said unquietly, she said, deedly-dum, deedly-dee. Hey, hey, the bo-bo-bo, deedly-dum, deedly-dee. Hey, hey, the bo-bo-bo, deedly-dum, deedly-doo-bop-ba-da-bop-ba-da-bop-ba-da-bop. Song written by one of Canada's foremost songwriters and folk singers, a man called Gordon Lightfoot. It's a knockout song. Hang on a sec. Do you like sound effect stuff? Well, you're more or less lumbered with it with me on stage, you realise that. This is a brand new invention, a miniaturised, transistorised electronic organ. First of its kind in the world, and it's a British invention. Burst of applause. Don't go mad now, that's enough. No, see, I haven't got Wedgwood Ben's permission to actually show this publicly yet. And it's called a stylophone. It works with this little stylus thing, which is attached by this, what's the name to the, how's your father, in the middle. And As you can see, it's got this tiny little keyboard. It looks like a piano that's had a heck of a row with the witch doctor, right? And what happens is you switch it on, switch on the vibrato bit, make contact with the little metal tip to the metal keyboard. We went to a fancy dress ball the other night, my wife and I, and we got split up just after we'd got in there. There were millions of people there, and I come face to face with this girl, dressed in very little. She's gone along as a map of the world, tattooed from head to foot with a ballpoint pen. 1, 2.
Her nose was Birmingham, her chin was Amsterdam, and on her knees was Greece. Greece on her knees. Her back was Brazil. Her chest was Primrose Hill. Her hips were Constantinople. Just then I saw my wife, and to avoid all future strife, I let the rest of the world go by.
Before I go any further, I'd like to thank you for being a fabulous audience tonight. I'd like to finish up by singing for you my impression of this city from the time I first arrived here. I arrived in April '52, spring was here and the sky was blue. Started to drizzle very next day and rained and poured till the end of May. Still the more they try to keep me down, better I live in London town. Yeah, the more they try to grind you down, better I love this London town. They rob you in the Parliament and they take away half your pay for rent. Now they've gone and passed a law, I'm not allowed to shoplift anymore. The more they try to keep me down, better I live in London town. Yeah, the more they try to grind you down, better I like this London town. Whenever the government sorts things out, everything goes up the spout. Well, this is the first year I can remember when the August bank holiday's been in September. The more they try to keep me down, better I live in London town. Yeah, the more they try to grind you down, better I love this London town. Could you go a bit quiet on this bit, Bert, because I've got a special melody in this one. Do you ken John Stonehouse, PMG, says fourpence on a letter's no good to me. If you want to buy a stamp, buy a 5-penny, or it won't get delivered in the morning. The more they try to keep me down, better I live in London town. Yeah, the more they try to grind you down, better I love this London town. Topless waitresses here, is that true? I can't imagine that, can you? How do you take your coffee, Mac? Well, if it's all right with you, I'll have it black. The more they try to keep me down, better I live in London town. Yeah, the more they try to grind you down, better I love this London town. I went down Soho looking for sex and the girl said, sorry, I don't take checks. I said, okay, put away me book. Well, I only really came round to have a look. The more they try to keep me down, better I live in London town. Yeah, the more they try to grind you down, better I love this London town. Ding dong bell, pussy's in the well. Been down there for nearly a year. No wonder the water tastes bloody queer. The more they try to keep me down, better I live in London town. Yeah, the more they try to grind you down, better I love this London town. Last verse, gentlemen. Imagine Chi-Chi in a rage when they usher Ann into the cage. Don't expect me to get excited, I don't want you.
I was invited.
Better I live in London town. Yeah, the more they try to grind you down, better I love this London town. The more they try to keep me down,